everyone! Welcome back to the vlog. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." As a teenager, it can feel like you can't do anything to make the world a better place.
But that's not true. We're going to talk about ways you can change the world.
The most important thing a young person can do is find out what they can do locally and get involved.
Learn about the world. Look at the problems and then think about the solutions.
For example, food banks. There are people who don't have enough money to buy food, and you can help by donating to a food bank near you.
You can go out and buy things or look in your cupboards and see what you can find to donate.
They'll take canned foods, pasta, rice, cereals, and a lot of other things. Just make sure it's not damaged or out of date. Another great way to help out locally is with environmental causes. We're going to pick up litter in our street.
In some places, they have programs to clean up dirty rivers and beaches.
And sometimes the biggest change is in how we live. You can use less plastic and make sure to recycle.
I'm planting a tree to help out, to do my bit, one tree at a time.
Greta Thunberg was motivated to organize protests because of climate change. She started locally, but inspired thousands of young people to join demonstrations about the environment all around the world.
So, whatever it is that you want to change, be that change. Maybe organize an event and make sure that your voice is heard.
You can volunteer for organizations and charities that you care about. They all need your help. Hi, thanks. Here you go.
3-day weekend! 3-day weekend! 3-day weekend! 3-day weekend! 3-day weekend!
So, whatever it is, get out there and do it.
And remember that young people can make a difference.
We are the future.
3-day weekend! 3-day weekend!
Unit 3, page 34. Exercises 6 and 7.
Every minute of every day, our planet loses more than 600,000 square meters of forest. People cut down trees so they can use the land for farms or new towns. But deforestation comes at a big cost. Forests are important for the health of our planet. In particular, they help to slow down climate change because they take carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and replace it with oxygen. Forests also provide a home for many, many endangered animals. So, what can we do to prevent this crisis? There are certainly things we can do as individuals. For example, giving up meat. If everyone stopped eating meat and dairy products like cheese and milk, this would reduce greenhouse gases by a massive 8 billion tons a year, partly because it would reduce deforestation. But one individual decided to do something more spectacular. In 2019, the YouTube star Mr. Beast, real name Jimmy Donaldson, started a campaign called Team Trees. Its goal was to plant 20 million trees by raising $20 million. It took less than 2 months to raise the money, though planting the trees is obviously a longer job. In fact, Mr. Beast's YouTube channel is so popular that raising money is not difficult. If every subscriber donated just $1, he would raise $37 million. Planting trees is good for the planet, but it is not the same as stopping deforestation. The rainforests are a very special habitat. If they disappeared, 50% of the world's plant and animal species would disappear too.
Second conditional.
If I saw a snake, I'd take a photo.
If I were you, I'd run.
We use the second conditional to talk about unreal or unlikely situations and their results in the present or future. We form the second conditional with an if clause plus the result clause. We form the if clause with if plus the past simple. We form the result clause with would or wouldn't and a verb without to. We can contract would. The negative of would is would not. We can contract would not to wouldn't. We put the if clause before or after the result clause.
Unit 3, page 36. Exercise 2. The kindness of crowds. We all know that a small act of kindness can make a big difference. Usually this involves two individuals, but a crowd of people can be kind too, especially when everybody has the same goal. These 3 stories all have something in common. When somebody needed help, a large group of people came to the rescue. A few days before his 15th birthday, Ollie Jones made 2 birthday cards for himself. Why? Because he did not expect to get a card from anyone else. His mother Karen felt sorry for Ollie and wanted someone to send him a card, so she wrote about his situation on Facebook. The message went viral. On his birthday, Ollie received 18,769 cards from people in 45 different countries. At a train station in Perth, Australia, CCTV cameras recorded a moment that was nearly a tragedy. A man fell from the platform when a train was at the station. His leg was between the train and the platform, and he couldn't move. There was nothing he could do. The other people on the platform knew they had to act quickly. Everyone pushed the train at the same moment, and it moved. Only a few centimeters, but that was enough. The man was free, and amazingly, he had no serious injuries. When a group of refugees from Myanmar tried to reach Indonesia by boat, they were not allowed to land anywhere. The government was worried that some of the refugees might be sick with COVID-19. No one wanted to help them, until some local villagers decided to act. Without official permission, they helped the refugees to land safely, and then took care of them. As one villager said to reporters, "We are human beings, and they are human too, and we have a heart."
Unit
Indefinite pronouns. We use these indefinite pronouns to talk about people, things, or places when we are talking in general. We use indefinite pronouns with some in positive sentences. We use indefinite pronouns with any in negative sentences and questions. We can use indefinite pronouns to say things or ask questions about people, or things, or places. We use indefinite pronouns with every when we want to talk about all people, all things, or all places. We can use indefinite pronouns with every in questions and in positive statements. Indefinite pronouns formed with no are opposite to indefinite pronouns with every. We use them when there is no person, or thing, or place to talk about. We use nobody and no one, nothing and nowhere with a positive verb. We use a singular verb in the third person with these indefinite pronouns.
Unit 3, page 38. Exercise 3.
Okay, so try to guess my job. You've got 5 questions.
Okay. Question 1. Where do you work?
You can't ask that. You can only ask questions with the answer yes or no.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Do you work outside?
No.
Do you work inside?
Yes.
Okay. Question 3. Do you use a computer?
No.
And question 4. Do you work in the evening and at weekends?
Yes, definitely. Okay, last question.
Question 5. Do you need to be creative?
Yes.
Okay. Now I need to guess.
Unit 3, page 38. Exercise 4.
So, what do you think?
Well, I'm not sure. At first, I thought maybe a pharmacist, but they don't usually work in the evening and at weekends.
Okay, go on.
And they aren't really creative. So then I thought, chef. You're a chef.
Well done. That's correct.
You
There's a well-known puzzle. A man and his son are on a bike ride, but the boy has an accident and he has to go to the hospital. The surgeon looks at him and says, "That's my son. How is this possible?" The answer is very simple. The surgeon is the boy's mother. It's obvious. Except it isn't obvious to a lot of people because for them, surgeons are usually men. 100 years ago, there was some excuse for this mistake, but not today. Today in the UK, roughly 50% of doctors are men and 50% are women. And when you look at doctors under the age of 30, there are more women than men. But there are still lots of other professions where the balance is not so good. For example, if you look at 100 carpenters, how many would be women? The answer is 1. What about car mechanics? Again, only 1 would be a woman. And lorry drivers? Only 2. Why is this a problem? It's a problem because when a girl says, "I want to become a carpenter," people often reply, "But that's a man's job. Why don't you become a childminder," for example? Nearly 100% of childminders are women. In other words, girls don't choose jobs like mechanic because they never see any female mechanics. And they don't see any female mechanics because girls don't choose that job. We need role models who show us that there's no such thing as a man's job. If we go back 200 years, we find women who had the courage and determination to be those role models. For example, Isabel Gunn wanted to explore America, but women couldn't do that. So she pretended to be a man. And in 1806, she travelled across the Atlantic Ocean as John Fubbister. About 100 years later, we meet Bessie Coleman, a black woman in America who had an ambition to become a pilot. However, flying schools in the USA at that time did not accept black people or women. So Bessie learned French, and in 1920, she travelled to France. There, she learned how to fly. And she became one of the most famous pilots of her day. And in the modern era, there are still barriers for women to break down. In 2010, Catherine Bigelow became the first woman to win an Oscar for Best Director. In 2019, Stephanie Frappa became the first woman to referee a men's football match in a UEFA competition. These women are pioneers, but the fight for equality continues and there is still a long way to go. So, my advice is, stop making assumptions about which jobs are suitable for women and which jobs are suitable for men. And my advice to girls is, don't listen to the negative voices saying you can't be a pilot. Remember the positive role models. Think, if I could do anything in the world, what would I choose? And then choose that, because you can. Thank you.
I need to get something for my dad. It's his birthday next week. I wish I knew what to buy.
I know what you mean. I never know what to get for my dad.
Yeah, it's not easy. Anyway, how did it go with the neighbours yesterday? Did you get to know Bianca?
Yeah, I did. It was really nice. In fact, she wants to meet me in the cafe this afternoon.
Oh, okay. What time?
4 o'clock. That's in about half an hour.
So, has Bianca got any brothers and sisters?
Yes, she's got a brother, but he's in Italy on a gap year.
I wish I could have a gap year. It would be great to go to Australia.
Hey, look over there. That's Connor, isn't it?
I think you're right. Let's go and say hi.
Thank you.
Hey Connor, what are you up to?
I'm helping with my mum's charity, Go Green. It's all about having a greener lifestyle.
Air travel causes global warming. What were you saying about going to Australia?
Nothing. So, how's it going?
Not so well. I wish people showed more interest in the environment.
Yes, me too.
Actually, could you and Alfie help me for a few minutes?
Sure, no problem. Maybe we could hand out leaflets?
Thanks, but actually I'd rather you stayed by the stall. I have to go to the post office. Is that okay?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I guess that's okay, but I have to be at the cafe in half an hour.
Thanks, I won't be too long.
You're welcome. See you in a bit.
Connor's taking a long time.
I know. Maybe the post office is really busy.
I should go. I'm meeting Bianca in 10 minutes.
I'd rather you didn't leave right now. I don't want to do this on my own.
I'd rather not be late for Bianca.
Can't you send her a message?
I haven't got her number and she isn't online at the moment.
Please wait with me, Alfie. I'm sure Connor will be here soon.
Here he is, at last. I have to leave now. I have to be there in 2 minutes.
Thank you for staying with me.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm sorry that I took so long. The post office was really busy and I had to get some food too, so...
Oh, don't worry about that, Connor. I'm not in a hurry.
I am in a hurry. See you later.
Oh, okay. Bye, Alfie. Would you like a chocolate brownie?
Thank you. I'd love one.
So, why is Alfie in such a hurry?
He's meeting a friend.
Oh. I hope he isn't late because of me.
Don't worry. He'll be on time. If he runs all the way.